Welcome to Tyrant Unleashed and day one of the new Frenzy Brawl. Yep, it is the second Brawl that's been released by the developers. The last being last weekend. They've made some changes to the mechanics of the Brawl. The first being the matchmaking system. So the first Brawl last weekend was using the BR as an indication of deck strength, which isn't really representative of deck strength. BR is increased due to arena fighting. And typically in a normal 25-minute cycle of arena fighting, you'll get a +5 for each win you make, for a total of +25. Then you'll take a hit, your shields will go up until you fight again. The hit will cost you -20. This is assuming that you're beating and losing to opponents that are a lower BR than you, for a net result of +5, which in essence means that every 25 minutes you are increasing your BR by +5. So using it as a representation of deck strength is misleading. It's more of a representation of activity, of how often you're fighting in the arena, and that really came through when the matchmaking started, because you were facing decks that really were strong. They deserved the 180, 200 BR sort of label, and you'd go in, there would be 2 tested citadels, or there'd be 3 demis. You'd get walloped. It was no fun for anybody, and the forums were awash with crying. Actually, the Tyrant forums are always awash with crying, but this time it was kind of justified, and the developers listened and changed the matchmaking to more of an elo based system. The idea being that for the first few matches, the opponents are fairly random. You're going to be getting strong opponents, weak opponents, but over time the ranking system will settle, and you'll sort of be operating within a tier that is representative of your overall deck strength, because the matchmaking goes up and down based on the rank that you are in the Brawl over time. So it will be interesting to see if that works. Hopefully it will, and hopefully it will open up some more tactical gaming, because you were going in before and it was pretty much over as soon as you opened it, or you knew you were going to face roll. What we'd like to see are some more tactical based games where you may win, you may lose, and it's all about how you play your cards. So that would be good for the game, and we'll see how that develops over the 3 days of the Brawl. The second change of the mechanics is a temporary change. It's not a permanent change, but they've removed the background effects. So in the Brawl last weekend, there was Enhance Enfeeble skill effect in play as the background effect, which was enhancing any enfeeble that you may have on your cards. It started from +1, and by the day 3 it went to +3. So Enfeeble 3 would be Enfeeble 4, and by the end of day 3 it would be Enfeeble 6. Now, removing the background effect I really like, because it does play deck against deck. There's no buffs in the background that are going to benefit one deck over another, which suits me and really suits the game as a whole. I think they need to consider the background effects, because Tyrant Unleashed, unlike War Metal Tyrant, you only really concentrate on one deck. It's not like you can build different decks based upon what you're going into or what you're facing, because SP is such a bottleneck. You really can't just test out cards and have a huge amount of cards. You've also got a fairly hard limit on the amount of cards that you can hold in your sideboard, so it's a different game from War Metal Tyrant. So I like the deck against deck, and we'll see how that plays out. It's still under surge conditions, so the opponent's still going to play first, you're going to play second, and that's really the changes that they've made to the Brawl. So let's talk about the gang that we're taking in today into the brawling system. The normal commander, so we're going to be getting an enhanced poison 2, which really doesn't benefit my deck. I'm not packing any poison at the moment, so sort of a skill that's not necessary, but the enfeeble 1 is very nice, and the strike 1. Now if the enfeeble 1 does get through onto cards, they're not carrying evade or anything like that, then it will actually be a strike 2 on 1 card each turn. The cards that we're taking in, really it's the Demi Constrictor, which we made in the last video and I managed to max ahead of the Brawl, which was nice. It's the flagship card of my deck. I mean, the skills on that are just incredible. Evade 4 gives it a lot of survivability, so it's dodging strike, it's dodging enfeeble. Counter 7 just means that cards are suiciding upon it from the get-go, so don't worry about the CD4, it's going to be doing damage as soon as it comes out, as long as the card opposite of it is activated. Enfeeble 3, if it does activate, is absolutely gorgeous over a deck, either to suck out evade from the enemy cards, or as straight Enfeeble 3 over the top of the deck. A huge hit pool does mean that the survivability along with the evade 4 is quite good. So that's the flagship card, and then we bring some synergy in the form of two other cards, the Arc Nova Elite and the Taz Quad. So the Arc Nova Elite, when dropped behind the Constrictor, is going to benefit from its Enfeeble 3 with this Strike All 2. So that's going to be a lot of damage being placed upon the enemy deck once both cards are active. The Evade 3 keeps the survivability up, the Inhibit 2 is just icing on the top. The Taz Quad is a lovely card. It's a 1 CD card, gets an instant jam as soon as it activates, and then a jam every 3. Again, just slowing down the enemy deck, allowing things to activate. The Rally Xeno 4 is nice, and the Hill Xeno 6 is what keeps the Constrictor alive, or the Arc Nova alive, or the Taz alive. So there's a bit of synergy between this trio of cards here. We need some more jam to slow down the enemy deck, so we bring that in the form of the Augur Ream. Again, an instant jam on a 2 CD. Jam every 4, rally 5. Evade 3 keeps the survivability up. Because it's the only Imperial in the deck, we can pretty much guarantee that the Rally Imperial 5 is going to land upon this card unless it's been inhibited. So it allows for tactical placement for an 11 hit on 2 CD, which is punching like a truck really for a free-to-play card. We also bring in the Purify Quad. The Weaken 4 primarily is what we're looking for on this card. It's a 1 CD. The Weaken 4 will again slow down the enemy deck, allowing things to activate and just slow down that damage being taken. The Sacred Sanctuary, a lovely Hill 3 just to give the survivability overall to our deck. Rally 2 is nice, Rally All 2, and again this Weaken 4, which is important for slowing down the enemy deck. Our second tank, the first being the Constrictor, obviously, the Trampling Anvil. When dropped fairly early in the game, you can guarantee that the Protector Raider 4 is going to fall upon this card, again allowing for tactical choices, because the only other Raider in the deck is the Steel Maiden, which we'll come to in a moment. So Protector Raider 4, Armor 3, nice survivability, Rally Raider 6. Again, if dropped early in the deck, you can guarantee that the Rally Raider 6 is going to fall on the Anvil. And our final card is the Steel Maiden, the quad version of the Iron Maiden. An absolute glass cannon. It's got 0 survivability. The 20 hit points mean nothing when there's not armor or protect or evade or something that's going to keep the card up. If it does get going, it's an absolute beast. You're getting a strike 6, maybe with an enfeeble 1 on top of that, maybe with an enfeeble 3 on top of that, so that's a huge amount of strike on a single card. Berserk 3, so it's going to hit for 7. In the second go, it's going to hit for 10, 13, so on. Pierce 5 means that things can't really stop it. It's just about getting this card going. If it does get going, it's a beast. Normally it will die before it gets going, but everything about this deck is sort of geared towards slowing down the opponent and giving some survivability, allowing this to activate. So with the jams, the weakens, the tanks, and the counter to try and get ahead of the curve, that's the kind of aim of it, and a couple of tanks as well. So that's the gang that we're taking in. I'm going to play a match. I did play a few matches last night. You can see that we've got 6 minutes until we're full again. So I think I lost 2 or 3 of the overall 20 matches or so last night. Working on this morning, and I am still ranked 1,318. Let's just take a quick look at the rewards. We can pretty much skip over those because they're not going to happen. Ideally, would like to land here. If I can rank between 1 and 500, I'll be over the moon. I think that would be an excellent result. More likely in this sort of area between 1,000 and 1,500 is my sort of target rank. If I fall outside the 1,500, I'm going to be not best pleased. I want these 2 cards, and I feel that the deck should allow me to land somewhere within here. So we'll see how we go. Play a couple of battles. I've had some requests from some subscribers to record some PvP brawls, hence this video and some videos in the future. So we'll play a couple of battles. We'll just analyse it as we go and see what we get. It's going to be a bit random. I may lose, I may win. We'll see how it goes. So let's go straight into a battle. And we're up against the legendary Barracus. It's the same as our commander, so that's the first sort of sign that this isn't a minnow deck. It's something that's more in our sort of range of deck strength. We do have a Tartarus Brood out. This is a monster card when it gets going. It's a 2 CD, counter 3, Enfeeble 2, which is nasty, and then Berserk 2. So it gets going fast, and the Enfeeble 2, along with this ever increasing attack, really does hurt. So we really need to counter this card straight off the bat. We haven't got a bad opening hand. The Still Maiden's a bit of a pity. It would be nice to see the Sacred Sanctuary in this hand, but hey ho. We do have our flagship. I'm likely to use the flagship and then the jam unless some healing comes out, and just allow the Tartarus Brood to kill itself upon the Demi Constrictor. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we get some more poison. So this card is a wonderful card. I love the Spiteful Raptor. I just wish it was still relevant in the meta. I think it's a lovely card. Pierce 5, Poison 3, Leech 5 keeps it alive as it's attacking. It will pretty much guarantee a hit unless it's been jammed or something, and it benefits from the buff from the commander on the poison. It's just not as good as some of the other 2 CDs that are around at the moment, but a very dangerous card nonetheless. So at this point we are going to need to slow down this deck a bit. So we're going to bring the jam in the form of the Augur. And we'll see what card gets played next. Okay, so this is a Brood Minion. It's an uncommon card, so I'm not too worried about this. Enfeeble 1, I mean Rally All, Bloodthirsty 1, Strike 3. It has got synergy with the cards that have been played so far, so we do have to be careful here. But it's not a particular worry. It's not the worst card that could have come out from the opponent at this point. So you can see that the Tartarus is already growing. I really need to get some heal out, and I haven't pulled the Taz or the Sanctuary, which is a shame, because that would just be awesome at the moment, because my Constrictor is going to be taking damage. That Tartarus Brood should go down next turn. The Constrictor is doing a counter 7. There's no healing on the enemy field at the moment, so one more hit and the Tartarus would have killed himself. The Spiteful Raptor will move over to the left, and the Augur should get the jam in because the Brood's not activated. So we are going to play our tank card at this point, just to give us a little bit of survivability in the mid deck. They play the Zillaclaw. It is a fuse, counter 5, inhibit 2, poison 3. So again, this poison, which is going to be very dangerous for us. We finally get our healing in the form of the Taz quad, which we are going to play. We're going to get a quick jam. Because there's no evade on any of these cards, so the jams are gonna hit home at the moment, which is nice. We need to try and keep this Constrictor up for as long as possible. He's going to be taking some serious damage from the Spiteful Raptor. 7 plus the poison 3 plus the enhanced poison 2, so that's 5, 7. Yeah, he's just going to be alive next go, I think, but he's going to go down soon after that because that poison's going to hurt. Luckily we get the jam off from the Augurim, which is actually going to give us Constrictor a lot more survivability here, because now we can heal it from the Taz this turn, which is fantastic. The enemy plays that card that is completely unpronounceable. Counter 3, weaken all 1, poison 3. We're going to go ahead and play some more healing and some weaken, slow down this deck, take control of the situation at this point. And we're feeling really good about this battle now. You can see the Constrictor up, we get the second jam off. Sure, our Augur dies due to the poison, but that's fine. We get a Sanctuary out for the enemy, but we're not worried about that. Let's bring the Nova Elite in. And we're just totally in control of this battle at this point. We've got the jams up, we've got 2 tanks at the front, and cards just killing themselves on the Constrictor left, right and centre. This card is just absolutely amazing. And we'll take that win. So it wasn't a bad first battle of the day. We're kind of on the cusp of rank 1060. That's the way the brawls work. I will be recording most of the brawling. If you guys kind of like what you see today, let me know in the comments and I'll do some more commentary around the brawls. If you'd rather see something else, just let me know and we'll see what we can do about putting together a vid. If you really like the commentary on the brawls, then I will do many more. Maybe 20 minutes worth of fights or something like that. Just let me know. Other than that, this is Harlequin D signing out.